Kenmore is an amazing manufacturer of sewing machines. They've produced quite a few over the years. So this is another one that I got. I wanted to do a tutorial on the maintenance and the cleaning. It's again got basic features. This looks like it might need an instruction manual to go with it. So it's quite interesting with some of these settings. The reverse button, the thread gauge, the spindles at a whole bunch of different stuff. This is again a nice metal machine on the outside, but we'll take a look and see what's going on the inside and take a look at the top to see what's happening. It sounds pretty good to me. I'll give you an idea of the before. So it doesn't seem to have any issues with the sound. So this one was kind of looked at before I got it. I still, like I said, like to do the double check and cleaning and hope that you can learn from the tips and tricks on what I've come across with this particular machine. I don't have the model number right now, but I will look that up and share that with you in a later video, or not a later video, but later in the video. And I will turn the camera around so we can see what's happening with this area here. So for this particular machine, it's actually an amazing all metal Kenmore sewing machine. This machine model number, I was able to find the serial number on the bottom. It is the 1581941, and this machine was manufactured, according to the information that I found online, was in 1960. Apparently it was one of the last all metal machines made in Japan, and it, from what I'm hearing from several different YouTube tutorials, that it is an excellent machine. So we're going to do where we need to oil, as you heard earlier. Oops. It's actually really good the way that it sounds, but I want to see if it can sound a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this top, and it literally comes right up. It just comes straight up. I'm just gonna put that needle tension gauge up and just pop it straight up, because these are the brackets that hold it in place. And that is something that's important to look at too, to see that this is in a good stage, to make sure that that's clean and not worn down too much. Because if it is, then the bobbin won't wind properly. I'm just going to kind of inspect that off camera a little bit better. I might look at replacing this, because there was a dead spot somewhere here that I wasn't too happy with. I'll see what it costs to get that replaced, because I wouldn't mind that being a better state. Because what I'm going to do is get her all oiled up and fixed up for somebody else to use. So again, how I know where to turn is I turn the dial. It's feeling a little stiff. Never put oil on the belt. Oh, I'm trying to get oil in between certain areas. See how I'm just touching it? That's as much as it needs. So again, we want to get into this area here. Put a little bit more oil there. something squeaking. Not happy about. Just gonna give you an idea of what I'm looking at now. I want to see what's happening inside this area here. Oops. I'll move that gears up and get the oils in between little areas. That's one thing I love about machine oil, is it's very clean. So I'm gonna get in between the back here. I'm wondering if that's where it was. And something else is squeaking. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can clean that shaft. This under here. This one. I know you don't use your finger, but I am. You actually want to use something to wipe it away. So I have 100% cotton. Let's see if I can wipe that away. I want to try and get this stuff off here. This stuff. I'm trying to get in that area there. I'm just poking at it when I should really use something to clean it. All right, so let's try this. So I want to get underneath the shaft where it goes up and down, and that's what I'm trying to clean off. So I'm hearing the squeak still, and then I think it's somewhere down here. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So just gonna go back up. I still want to find out what that squeak is, but as you can hear, this is moving a lot nicer. What I was doing was looking at this area here. I'm already loving how smooth and pretty that sounds. Really, really liking it. All right, heard this machine also does excellent with denim as well, with multiple layers. It's a very strong and sturdy machine. We'll take a look and see what's going under the pressure plate under here. I want to take this bobbin out. That thread's getting in my way. It's got 2 screws. Oh, you know what? We don't need to worry about the top anymore, so I'll put that back. Again, it's just a simple snap in place. But we'll finish up here at the bottom. Get these screws out. Okay. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Take a quick brush. Oh my gosh, this plate is nice and heavy, which means it's solid. Looking for my brush. Okay. And I am pretty happy that there's not a whole lot in here to be worried about. Just adjusting the camera a little bit. We're gonna take a look in here. So these, to get this off, you just push these back and this pops out. And I wanted to take that out now because then I can see exactly what's going on, because I can get the light through the top. I'm checking inside here. That looks okay. Just a little dirty, but not a big deal. I inspect to see if there's any nicks or anything, and I don't see any. Again, this is a good solid piece. Again, I look for nicks across here. I don't see any, but I don't like how this is dirty, so I want to get that out. This is what I was talking about that you want to clean out. So I got that looking better. Now, to put this all back, I like to pivot the machine a little. Before I do, I want to get a little bit of oil in. Oops, I want to get a little bit of oil in the back behind here. Show you what I'm doing. Just tidying this up a little because I don't like how dirty it is. You can use a white cotton cloth if you don't want to use Q-tips. But all that should be cleaned away. Oops. Now, sometimes you can use getting access to this area without having to take the bottom plate off. So we'll pop a little bit of oil in the back. Okay, let's see that makes a difference in the sound. Somebody is doing something that I'm not sure I like. All right, so I'm going to shift this to show you something else I'm looking at. There is a gear in the back here. See it? I'm going to put a little bit of oil back there. Now let's listen to this. Okay. Position this differently. I noticed something was moving back and forth while I was, whoops, when I was moving the machine. Okay. All right, I actually do want to take the bottom off now because I still don't like how it's squeaking. Let's switch this to number 8. It's a zigzag. I don't want a zigzag. There we go. I'll show you the settings that I did because it was doing a zigzag and now it's on a straight stitch. I don't think it's too much of a worry, but we'll put this guy back in here. So that sits just against this, and this again has this pin that sits in here to just put it back. And then again, just pop those back in place. If they don't pop back in place, then you know very well something's wrong. Okay, let's put this guy back. Oh, I'm gonna wipe that down a little bit. Okay, clean all that down. Cool. Just noticed this pops out. It just pops back in. So we'll take a look at that afterwards. Make sure my needle is up. Put that back in place and then put the screws back. I got this machine at a nice price, but I hear that a lot of people who do have it, it's incredible and they're very pleased with it. It is a workhorse from other tutorials that I've heard of other people who have these machines. Okay. I want to take a look at what's going on under this area and get a better idea of what it looks like underneath. So I'll just take a couple of these screws off. Because this whole thing is attached. Keeping a memory of where something was. I like the screwdrivers that have a magnet on it because it helps you pull them out. And it's kind of interesting because this is where you see the make and the model on this particular machine. I like to keep a cloth beside me to keep a pattern of where the screws came from. So I'm just going to get to the point where these screws are off, and then we'll show you what it looks like underneath. Now, I was watching another video and they were telling me how to be very careful to take a certain part off so you don't break this little piece here. There's a little piece of plastic. So based on his video, I was very careful. So taking a look under here looks really, really good. I did put a lot of oil down here, so when I was looking at the back or the bottom, it was definitely dirty. So this is great to see what's going on under here. I'm just going to shift this over a bit, zoom out. That's a great spot if you had to change the motor. These areas here, we'll put a little bit of oil under here where the parts move, but it didn't need any from the way that it sounded. So I'm just going to try and, oops, sorry. Just move this around to see what's shifting and moving, to give me an idea of where I can just all right. Very, very good. Very pleased with the way this machine looks. So I will put the bottom on because there's no dirt or debris built up, which is great because the way that this machine is sealed, it doesn't actually collect a lot of dust, which is great. So if you have a lot of big projects, that's one thing not to really be too concerned with. So I may want to clean this off here. I don't like the way that looks. But again, if you don't need to take it off because the machine sounds great, then perfect. But if you're hearing anything unusual, the belt needs to be changed, the motor needs to be changed, then this is what it looks like underneath to anticipate the condition. Not to anticipate, to inspect the condition and see if there's anything else that's going on. In case like maybe the machine was in water or in a fire, what does it look like? But in most cases, this is a really good machine. So I'm going to put her back together And then we'll stand her up and show you how to thread the machine and then do the bobbin, and I'll be back. There's a lot of videos online about this particular machine, which I thought was amazing. I'm just going to add mine just because I can. So we're going to use the thread spool. Again, there's always a nick on some of these. Just make sure that it's on the opposite direction so it doesn't catch. It's going to go around this here into the tension gauge. Lock it, pull it up. I like to hold the thread and then pull it up. It hooks into the front. I'll just come a little bit closer, you can see what I'm doing. This one hooks at the top. Again, hooks in here. Now there's a space. Oops, too high. That's perfect. There's a space here. Now there's two spaces on this machine. So at this point, it really doesn't matter. You just push it until it hooks. And then there's two thread guides at the bottom here. Again, it really doesn't matter. Now, these are good if you have a 2 needle head. If you're doing something like jerseys. Yes, I'm cleaning instead of showing you that part. I don't like how dirty this foot is. And I'll put the light back on so you can see a better shot. So that's the light on. So you can see the image better. And then this goes front to back. This is the other reason why, over time, as you get older, it gets really hard to see, to thread the thread, to thread the needle. So a lot of the newer high-end sewing machines have an automatic threader. Honestly, wish I had one for this one. But patience is a virtue. There's a button on the side of this machine. Just pop that, and the top falls off very noisily. And you can easily get into where the bobbin case is. We checked under here, which was great. Bobbin case is a little dirty. And I'll show you what I found. Excuse me. That was caught up inside here. So if the bobbin is not sitting right, that's why. And you really need to take that stuff out, because if moisture builds up, that will damage your bobbin case. Now this one looks like it's getting close to being rusty. So I'll make sure whoever takes advantage of this machine that they actually clean that out quite often. Very easy to thread. Again, it's very similar to the standard. There's a little space. Oops. Slides it until it locks in. Now I was sewing on this machine earlier today, so even though I don't like the tension on how it's really loose, but once I put it in, it locked in place, which is good. And then I just, oops, hold the thread while I turn the handle to towards me, and then that way I can lift up the thread. And then making sure this is up. Close that. Thread's on top. Thread to the back. And this just pops right on. To wind the bobbin, again, very simple. Now this one has on the handle where you pull it out, and that will stop this from turning. Just gonna grab a bobbin. This already has thread on it, but that's okay. We want to make sure there is a pin on here, because this is what holds the bobbin in place. And that just sits on top. Keeping the thread on the thread spool, and this goes around here, over to here. In this one, I'm going to wrap it around a few times, because I want it to catch that thread. This loose one, and then I'll just cut him off. Push this over to lock it, and then you would be able to now it's okay. It wasn't catching it, it was just turning. So I had to hold on to it a little bit, and now it'll do it. Now on this machine, there is a bobbin guide that when it's too full, it'll actually push this back and stop it. So sometimes people, while they're sewing with machines, they can actually have both going at the same time. While this is threaded underneath on this here, the top thread is on top by the winding gauge. So the two are not touching each other. So you can wind your thread on the bobbin at the same time as you're sewing. So if you have a lot of projects where it's the same color base thread, why not? You know? I'm going to do the conclusion without me being on camera, just because this machine is an amazing machine. The settings for the stretch stitch, basic stitch, and the different zigzags based on the different colors. The reverse button, again, the tension between the 12, 10, and 8. I kept it at the basics. This looks like if you switch this to the yellow, to the orange, it will get these features working. So I'm very, very pleased of this particular machine. I've heard a lot of people talk about these on videos, and a lot of people recommend this particular machine because it has a great support when trying to pull through heavy and denim fabrics. I'm not sure if this is also great for leather, but being this is a Japanese made machine, it is an all metal machine. And apparently this was one of the last models of its kind, which may explain why it was built so well. So if you do happen to get your hands on these, like I've heard from many other video tutorials, it is an excellent score. People have had them, may not know what to do with them, not sure if they're any good. Well, according to this, I'm very pleased. It's still in really good condition. It's still really clean. So very, very pleased with the outcome of the tutorial on this and how well it came out. I did, like I said, I was sewing on it earlier today, and I was pleased with the stitches. I didn't need to do anything fancy. I'm still trying to clean this machine. So thanks again for joining me on this video. I appreciate the opportunity to show you this one amongst many other video YouTubers. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I've got a few other videos ready to go. A few other machines that I want to post. So thanks again, and hope you have a great day.